Hi friends, now we are in the chapter 3.7. The purpose of the chapter is to create an ad form for the student follow-up, which is we are currently working. So the current project we are working is e-college. Okay. Under that, we are working student follow-up table. So for that table, we are going to create the ad form. That's the purpose behind this particular chapter. So I'll be explaining step by step so that you can follow up and you can try at your end. Okay. So click on the A prompt listed in the last but one slide of the current PPT. Okay. So I'll open the current PPT. Last but one side is this one. So I'll click on the A prompt. This is a folder. I'll open the Google Drive. And under that, I need to open the PHP template for add, grid, and edit. Okay. That I'll click. And add form prompt.txt is there. I click and download it. Okay. So this is done. So the download is done. Now I'll open this file in the Notepad++. Okay. So whatever downloaded. Okay. I'll open this in the Notepad++. Okay. Fine. So the add form prompt.txt is available for the editing purpose. So I need to make some changes in this. Then we need to put this in the ChatGPT. That we will do. Before that, there are some the basic works need to be done. That we will go through. Okay. So next I need to click on the project tab. That is the login one. So I'll go back to the login one. Okay. I'll go to the current initial, under that SQL tag. Okay. I need to copy the API tags. Control A, Control C. Then I'll go back to the Notepad++. Control N. I'll create a new tab. Control V. And I'm going to save this as. So you need to file, save. Save this as a JSON. So what is that? ecollege.json. Okay. So once I save this as a JSON, the content will act as a JSON. So that's the purpose of the Notepad++. So the Notepad understood this is JSON file. So it became like a JSON now. Okay. So I can compress whatever the tag I need. I'll go to the home. I'll put, for example, I click on the API tag JSON. And the whole JSON will be compressed. Okay. So I can expand and compress. Now I need to search for the student follow-up ad. Why I need to search for the student follow-up ad? That is what we are going to do. So we are going to create an ad form. That means, see, every module will be having a comment and following by the API post. That is how the system looks. Okay. So I need to find the appropriate tag, okay, API post for what I'm going to do. So that's what I need to do. So Control F, student follow-up ad. I need to do. Okay. So when I search for the command, automatically the API post is available. Okay. So this is the API post. Now I need to compress the API post to select the full structure. So I may use shift and down arrow also, but I may miss some the ending bracket. I may not know which is the ending bracket. I may get confused with that. So to avoid that confusion, what I'll do, I'll compress the e-college student follow-up ad. Now it is very simple. This is the opening bracket and closing bracket. When you click on the opening bracket, automatically the closing bracket will be highlighted. That's a beautiful of the Notepad++. It automatically finds the ending bracket and highlight that one. So you can know which one is starting and which one is ending. Okay. If I click on this one, so the ending is somewhere inside. So that is not highlighted. When I click on this one, So this is highlighted. Okay. So that's a beautiful advantage of the Notepad++. So I'm selecting this one. Okay. So this is selected. Now, after this one, now I'm going to use the API validator to validate the post, whatever I have, is a right post or it is working properly. Okay. So I click on the API validator, post the JSON here. Okay. Now I need to make the correction in the post because it has specified only like integer string, not the actual value. By default, the ezAppz master ID will be always one, irrespective of the any application. Okay. Then roll number. I need to give the roll number. Okay. Name. Department. Uh, mail. Is one. So all the data is required has been updated. Now this is okay. Okay. Now I need to see actually what we are going to do. We are trying to add a new row or a new record to the student follow-up table. For that, we are using the post, okay, which we got the post from the, again, from the project, which we have created for the table called student follow-up, okay. So each table will have three operations, add, update, and delete. Out of that, we are doing add. That's okay, okay. Now I need to change the initial. So initial is e-college. That's it. Now I click on the call API. Exam attended is invalid. Okay. It says the competitive exam attended is invalid. So I need a proper value for that. Okay. That's it. Okay. So what is that one? Competitive exam name. Okay. Okay. Exam attended is no. Okay. All right. Now let me try. API. Okay. Now it says the student follow-up added and the new ID is 38. That means what? A new row the record number 38 is added. So the system is perfect and the API is working very fine. So your post is correct. This is what we are getting testing here. Okay, fine. And I'm going to replace this in the add form prompt.txt. here I need to search for Control F JSON 1.0. Okay, JSON 1.0. Okay, so JSON 1.0 is here. So I need to replace this one. So you can delete this one, and here you can paste that one. Okay, so that is done. So the JSON, whatever we copied from the e-college JSON is being pasted here. So the first step of this add form is completed. Okay, so that is the first step. What we are doing is we have copied the JSON from the ecology JSON. What is ecology JSON? Is nothing but the add tag. Okay, the API tags of the current initial. That is, current initial is ecology. From the current tag, we have took the total JSON and we pasted in a JSON file. And from the ecology JSON file, we took the appropriate API post. That post I copied here. That's it. So for add, I did. If you want to do, you are planning to do for update, what you need to do? I need to search for the student follow-up update. Then I need to copy this one. So I'll compress this one. Then again, I'll copy this one. Okay. That is how we need to copy this one. Okay. So fine. So this is done. So the next, similarly, we need to change the response also. See, we got the response, and by calling the post, we got the response, correct? So this response also to be updated in the add prompt text. Okay, that's what we need to do. So I'll search for Control F response 1.0. Okay. Yes. So we got the response. Now here I need to paste this one. So I'll go back to the response. Come back to the Notepad++. Paste it there. Okay. That's it. Control V. So I have pasted the response also. So the next part is also completed. Now the next step is changes in the add form prompt. Okay, what are the following changes? The next change is change the initial. So change its initial. The initial to be specified for the action to below API call. So the initial is ecology. If it is something else, you're going to work on the different initial, then you need to change this. So currently this is we are working on ecology, so that is fine. Okay. So no change is required. But if you are working on some other initial, if your initial is something different, you need to change that one. Okay. Okay. So that part is taken care. And similarly, I need to check for the any other API call proxy that PHP is there. Okay. So if at all there, so Control C, Control F, Control V, fine. Okay. So there is one more thing is there. Here also you need to check whether the initial is changed. Okay. And you check, is there anything else? Okay. No. So that's it. Only these two are referring to the initial. So that is that change has been completed. Okay. Now let us go in detail, try to understand what is this add form prompt. Okay. Basically, this is a prompt for ChatGPT. Okay. So what are the information available and where the changes are required? Why do we made a lot of changes in this, like changing the initial, copying the JSON response, all those things completed. Okay, what for we are doing this? I mean, on a high level, where what actually this prompt is doing. Okay, so we'll try to understand. Starting from line number 2, okay, then up to Yes. Up to line number 173, we have nothing to do with this because this is the basically a sample template. Using this template only, the ChatGPT is going to create an application. Okay, so that's what it's going to do. Fine. So we are not going to touch anything here. Anything that we are going to add only below this particular point. Okay. So obviously we added the JSON that we did and the response. Okay. What about the ezAppz master ID? Okay, ezAppz master ID is by default one. To that extent, we will understand what is the purpose of ezAppz master ID and why do it need all those technical information. We will go through in detail in the future. Okay. As of now, ezAppz master ID by default is 1. That's it. Then we need to change the initial wherever required, that wherever the API call proxy is called, there we need to change the initial. That already we did. So on a high level, we'll try to understand from here the form creation starts. The information or instruction to the ChatGPT starts here. A form to be created based on the JSON 1.0. Okay. For all the object to be predefined in the HTML page. This is a basic thing. Okay. So let us go back to the JSON 1.0. So in the JSON 1.0, this we know that this post is relevant to the student follow-up ad, and there are multiple columns available with what is the data type available, and all information is been given here. So what we need is we need to create a form with all these columns, okay, where I need to add the information. So of course, the ezAppz master ID is not required because that is a default value. Apart from that, everything is required. Okay, because we have clearly specified that ezAppz master ID is not is always going to be 1. So that is not required. Okay. So from to be created based on the JSON for all the object and try to to be predefined in the HTML page. Okay. Based on the enum columns, the related information can be grouped together. Like, for example, so what we are trying to say, if, say, for example, placement status. So placement status, yes or no. If placement status yes means you need to specify the placement company name and the placement proof submitted, the other further information. Or if you take the higher study status, if yes means then you need to specify the institution code joined and admission proof, like that. One are relative. Or if you take the competitive exam attended, then the competitive exam name and the exam status has to be updated. So likewise, these are the some columns which are related to. So that's what we are trying to say. The enum columns. So enum is basically a yes or no column or any drop down data kind. Okay, that's what. So based on the enum column, the related information can be grouped together. Okay. Finally, save button to call the above API. So the API is specified. Okay. So API is what? The post is the that we know that we have already tested the post by calling the API validator. So we know that is working fine. So we are instructing the ChatGPT call the API and update. Okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a form with all the relevant columns. And of course, we'll be feeding the data in it. And finally, all the columns with the data has to be sent to the API to save. That's what finally has to. So finally, a save button to call the above API after saving the control should go back to the grid, data grid.php. See, data grid.php is a common grid. For example, the list of follow-up ad, and it will go back to the grid. Of course, you can change the data grid PHP also. Like if you have, like it can be something like this also. For example, student follow. Okay. So follow-up grid, something like this. Instead of very simple like data grid, you can have the same something like. Yeah, again, it is left to the requirement. So based on the requirement. For example, you are working for a ledger. Okay, then it should be a ledger grid. Okay, or ledger data grid or ledger detail grid, whatever. That is your choice. You can define this. And of course, we are going to see how to create the grid also. That is going to be our next video. Okay. So that we are going to see. Fine. So with that, the thing is done. So understanding the add form prompt. It's basically we are trying to say, see, very simple. We have given the JSON post and the response and given a basic instruction to the ChatGPT what need to be done. That's it. Based on that, ChatGPT will create an HTML and we are going to post the HTML into the server and execute it. That's it. Very simple process. Fine. Okay. So now we'll be now seeing how to generate this by putting in the ChatGPT, then generating the PHP, then finally uploading the PHP. Okay. Fine. So we will do that part now. Finally, everything is ready for us to post in the ChatGPT. Okay, so let me click Control A, Control C. Then I'll go back to the browser, ChatGPT, Control V. Okay, then click on this one. So now ChatGPT is working for us. Okay, okay, fine. So the HTML is created for us. It's going on. See, until the symbol is there, that means the ChatGPT is working for us. Okay, we need to wait till that is over. Okay, so things are getting ready. First, the HTML point is ready, getting ready. Then JavaScript is getting ready. Okay, and okay. So currently we have only two. One is JavaScript, the other one is HTML. So let me copy this one. I need to copy this one, that is HTML part. The symbol is changed. So that means ChatGPT has completed its work. So I'll copy this one. Now we need to copy this to the template, PHP template. I'll show you how that one. Because that is the next step. So back to our PPT here, we need to, as per the instruction in the PPT, we need to go to the AI prompts. That's what I'm going to do now. I'll go back to the AI prompt, click here, open the Google Drive. Then I need to download the PHP form template.php. Okay. So that has to be downloaded. So I'll click here. Just stop. Yes. So I'll download. So the file is downloaded. Now I'll click on this one and I need to rename it to the relevant name. So what I'm going to do, student follow-up add. So, I mean, it should be a relevant name. I mean, it cannot be like a common name. So I'm basically working for the student follow-up. Okay, fine. Oh, it says that file is already there. So either I have to delete that one or I have different name. Okay. So I'll put no. Then I'll again click on this. Add. Okay. Fine. That is done. Now I'll click on edit I have opened that file in the Notepad++. So whatever there, the information given in the ChatGPT, that I need to update here. That's the purpose I opened this file, and this file will need to be uploaded to the server to execute it. So let me go one after the other. So I'll come here, copy the HTML part. What it say, add this inside your div ID panel 1. That's what it says. So I copied this one. Go back to here, find Control F, panel 1. Okay. So panel 1 is here. So inside the panel 1 means here. So I need to copy here. Okay. Fine. So I copied this under the panel 1. Okay. So this part is done. Then what else is left out? The JavaScript. So JavaScript I need to copy. So I'll copy. So I need to copy this one. Okay. I'll copy this one. Control F. Or you can go down, you can see the script. Yes, here. So I need to place here. Okay. Okay. So that is done. Now let us post this in the server and see what happens. That's what we are going to do now. So I have saved this one. I'll go back to the project, application. Under the user, form upload. Okay, I need to click on the form upload. Choose file. Go to the download. Download only I made that file. Okay, student follow-up add.php. Open. Upload. So file uploaded successfully. Okay, that means the file has been uploaded. Now I need to directly type here and see whether that is done for me. So here follow add. Add. That's it. So the form created is added here. Okay. So beautiful form has been created. And obviously you did nothing. I just given some basic instruction to the ChatGPT. The form is ready, right? So it's beautifully did the job. Okay. Now we can just try out typing the data in it. Roll number. Let me start with roll number 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Name. Siddhapati, department, max, mobile, phone, mail ID. I'll give some relevant. Okay. Then placement, yes. Yes. Company name, Accenture, who submitted, yes. Status, yes, it is no. So, okay. Admission proof, no. Competitive exam attended, no. No plan, no. Doesn't be the no. Color name. Date. You can just click on here and select the date. Okay, today's date only. Response completed. Can't save. The student follow pattern. That means the record is added to the database. So you completed it. I mean, in just like few minutes, the thing is, I mean, maybe in uh, within 5 minutes we did this, correct? So it goes to the ecology student follow grid.php, which we need to define. That would be our next video. Okay, fine. So we'll meet in the next video. Until then, take care.